Peace, family. Welcome to another episode of Broken Theory. Today we got a special guest, Domenico. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing? Thank you for having me.
No doubt, man. Blessed, man. I just really was inspired by seeing your RRC music, and I just wanted to know the backstory behind what it took to be where you're at right now.
For sure, man. For sure. Yeah, everything started in 2016. Actually, back then I had a bit of like an online record store. It was called Soulcraft Music at the time, and then right there and then I connected with my former partner over at Topcom Records. So in 2016, at the end of 2016, we started Topcom Records. We launched our first project, and Topcom Records was active up until end of 2023. At this point, I guess it's like a year and a half now that it's been gone. And I kind of launched my own thing in 2022. Out of 2022, I relocated from Rome, Italy to Amsterdam, and kind of went solo with that. And so RRC started pretty much October 2022. So I kind of continued doing what I was doing over at Topcom at the time, right, and carried over with what I do. My love for music is always being rooted in record collecting very deeply. I was raised by hip hop and hardcore punk, so that was my two loves. I kind of grew up with those two kinds of music, and I was always very deep into record collecting, and it was kind of, I guess, natural, I always worked in music and concerts, productions, touring, and then at some point, I guess it was the most natural thing is kind of turning into my living,
For sure.
So that's how everything started.
No, that's amazing. So what age would you say that you first got started into like vinyl records and stuff like that?
Well, man, vinyl records to me, like I literally started buying vinyl records when I was, I think, 13, I believe, maybe 13, 14, something like that.
Do you remember what your first one was?
Yeah, man, it was, if I'm not wrong, it was an AFI album. I believe it was some hardcore punk band. I'm pretty sure that's what the first one was.
That's fine.
If I remember correctly. It was like around that age. It was a lot of hardcore punk, and somehow also got into the Mobb Deep New York stuff. In a way, a lot of the bands that I grew up listening to were also really into hip hop, and I remember there was a lot of stuff that I kept seeing left and right, and I got interested into that culture too. So that's kind of how we started. But yeah, record collecting was there since day one for me. The physical format was always a passion.
I feel it. So you said you were based in Italy, right?
Yeah, correct. I'm Italian originally. Yeah.
Okay, that's fire. That's fire. So how?
Yeah, now I'm in the Netherlands. I'm in Amsterdam.
Okay, that's even more fire, man. I love Italian food, man. I definitely want to make it out to Italy at some point, man.
It's a great place.
How was it like growing up in Italy and kind of experiencing the hip hop culture, kind of like from afar, like while it was going on? Like, were you guys like first to have certain things? Were you last? Like, how was that for you?
I think I'm in Italy in general. I think it's somehow, and I'm talking for anything here. We're not just talking music or hip hop. And I think we're always a few years behind in a lot of things, especially when you're talking like, modern culture. Because I mean, of course, Italy, is a birthplace of a lot of beautiful things. But as far as a lot of music stuff, and we definitely came later under some aspects for sure. So, I believe that in a way, the passion for this kind of music out there is huge, right? Mm-hmm. But it definitely arrives a little later, gets appreciated a little later. And but that doesn't stop the scene from being very active and there being a lot of interest, you know what I mean?
For sure.
I guess just that, things, it's definitely more of a niche. Right now, I mean, of course, hip hop is mainstream worldwide, you know what I mean? So right now, for example, in Italy, you literally have like iconic groups that, maybe stopped about 10 years ago or 15 years ago that are getting back together and they're filling up stadiums right now. I'm not talking 60, 70,000 people, you know what I mean?
That's fire.
Nobody expected that 15 years ago, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
But like, so right now he's definitely in a bigger place, but I mean, I can say that for the rest of the world too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you never expected Kendrick Lamar to do a halftime Super Bowl show 20 years ago, right?
Yeah, nah, never expected that, man.
Exactly, you know what I mean? So
he definitely killed it.
Where we are right now.
Yep,
where we're at right now. Yeah.
How does RRC Music differentiate themselves from other music companies in the industry? How do you kind of keep a leg up on them?
Well, to me, the way I always saw what I do and what we do as a label, you know, it's just in ways finding the right people to connect with. And I don't think there's necessarily differentiators from a lot of people, but I feel like especially over the now almost 10 years running a record label, I have created my world, my entourage, and my niche, and my clique, and the people that I want to keep working with. So I do tend to like stick to the same people. Every once in a while, there's like a new cat that I love working with and that I'm really excited about. Like one of the recent ones was actually Ox Omni, for example. We just did this job today, but I was immediately.
He was episode 32.
He's great. He was great, man. He's great. Like, and the first time I heard that record, I was like, I need to have this guy on board, you know? Yeah. But to me, it's, sticking to a very close, tight-knit work ethic with the artist and, keeping it creative, making sure that, we do everything with our vision, work on it together. That's a lot of the stuff that we do is, we put a lot of vinyl with these artists, but I'm also curating a few more projects. Like closely with the artist as far as actually executive producing the projects. So to me it's definitely picking and choosing what I really love and what I really believe in, and then try to take it and kind of making sure that the end product is highly curated and that we're all very satisfied about it.
Yes, sir. So walk me through your process when you do find an artist that you want to build with and things like that. What's that process like from step one to the finished product release date?
Well, it's pretty easy, you know what I mean? Like, in a way, is especially now, like, between what we did at Tough Kong and now, I'll probably handle almost 400 releases in the last 10 years. So it's kind of like, it's systematic in a way that, of course, I got my modus operandi with everything. But to me, the most important thing is, like I said, is finding really the one project and the one artist, being somebody that I know already or somebody that I'm just finding out about, but like, making sure that this is something that really touches me and fits my mood. Yeah, that is dope, man. That's great. Nice work, man. That's crazy. I still got that on my turntable.
Yeah, man. It's just funny the way the world works. I heard you mention it, so I was like, man, I got a tough thumb, man. Like, I got to show you that. You know what I mean?
That's crazy, man. Nice.
Nah, man. Definitely.
Yeah, I think we did that for like an anniversary release or something, if I'm not wrong.
Yep.
But yeah, man. So like the process is kind of like just finding what you really love and making sure that you can give it the best outcome. You know what I mean? And
absolutely,
it's as simple as that to me. Of course, then there is a lot of tedious work, and it's same old bullshit. Deal with the pressing plant, deal with the delays that come with that, and deal with a lot of headaches that surround the whole operation. But that's the boring part. To me, the most important thing is literally finding the right thing, the right person, the right collaborator, the right artist.
For sure. What do you look for in an artist when you are trying to select somebody new to work with, or you're looking for, a new business venture?
Well, man, to me, it's a lot of that. Of course, the art is extremely important. That definitely comes first place. But I also seek a human connection, especially after doing it for a minute now. I feel like I've worked with a lot of people that I will definitely not work with again. But I'm also very happy to say that there's a lot of people that I would like to work with again. And that's definitely more than the people that I do not want to fuck with them.
For sure. For sure.
But at the same time, to me, I need to have some sort of human connection. You know what I mean? I can't
Absolutely.
yeah. Of course, it's a business. Of course, it's a you know, um, it's an operation. But it is fundamental for me to surround myself with people that I really want to work with. Like, and I feel connected to it in a certain way. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So it's the art comes first, but for that relationship to also continue in a way, I do need some connection, man. Like I do need to like enjoy working with this person because at the end of the day, yes, it's like I'm lucky enough to have this as my job and I make a living out of this. But otherwise, I mean, if I wasn't doing what I really love, I would just work at a supermarket. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I don't see it as such at all.
No, I feel
you know, there's a lot of people that I've been working with since forever, man. Like, first name that comes to my mind is Vito. I've been working with that guy for like 7-8 years now. I've done maybe 10 plus releases with him over the last years.
Yeah.
You know, but that's just the first name that comes to mind, but it's somebody that I talked to on the daily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that is a human connection. It's not strictly business, you know what I mean?
What is a situation, and you don't have to name drop or anything like that, but what's kind of a situation to where, like, you know, the art was great, but the person maybe turns you off?
I can think of several situations, man. I can think of several people and several situations that some worked out, some didn't work out, but there's definitely been situations like that. The art necessarily does not match the person, and that's normal, and that's also okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's perfectly fine for. I believe you don't have to be everybody's friend. You know what I mean? You don't have to be everybody's best friend. So it's also okay. But like at the end of the day, I can't stand entitlement. I can't stand attitudes, man. Like there's definitely something that I don't fuck with. So I've dealt with some of that in the past. In some situations, I even ended up working with those people. Wouldn't work again. Yeah, that stuff happens, man. I mean, you know, we're talking music, we're talking art, we're talking egos, we're talking rappers, we're talking big egos sometimes, right? So there's a lot of everything.
I feel it, man. Specifically, as far as entitlement, what are some of the entitlement that you've experienced with some of the rappers, with you being a record label and things like that? Like, how do they have entitlement towards you?
You know, so a lot of the time, I think that, you know, we're in a market where everybody, of course, you know, price has gone up and I'm worth this much, right? But like, the thing is that at the end of the day, you're not necessarily the judge of that as an artist. Yeah, you can put a price tag on your art and that's totally fine. And I respect that, but it's also all right for somebody not to pay that price, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, you know, I've worked with a whole lot of people, priced records at whatever price, and some is worth and some haven't, and some records will work and some records won't work. But at the end of the day, a lot of people come like, yeah, my shit is sellout material, my shit is, you know, exclusive material. Not necessarily, you know, you can't call yourself an underground legend or a legend per se, unless people literally try you, right? So
yeah, exactly.
That's possibly the first thing, the thing that I've seen the most, for sure.
Absolutely. Was there ever a situation to where, let's just say an artist kind of talked big game for themselves, and was like, yeah, I'm going to sell out, and they didn't sell out?
Oh, yeah.
And then, what happened from there?
Man, at the end of the day, once you made the deal, you made the deal, so you got to go through with it, right? At the end of the day, when you see that, like, I'm a man of my word. If I got to stick to something that I've agreed with, I will see it through, but we won't be working again, you know what I mean? And
absolutely.
I mean, not even that bad. Like, at the end of the day, it's, you know, you can have an unfortunate release. That happens. It's happened. It will happen again for sure. But to me, like, if that doesn't come with entitlement, I'm happy to try and find a solution to move those records.
For
sure. What I mean, I'm not gonna be there and be the mean guy. Oh yeah, you should didn't work or whatever. You know, you know, I'm a proactive guy. I like finding solutions to something that might have not gone well. and I'll be happy to help you push it, you know. So
Yeah.
But like I said, like for example, like you just said, like if that comes with big game, and then you know, you potentially try to put it on the label, that you know, that's on you, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. What are some of those ways that you would push those records that didn't sell? I'm just asking for like the independent artists out there. It's been, you know, direct to fans has been very popular coming back. And
man, I think direct to fans is the future. Like, and I say that as a label owner. I think that direct to fans is definitely the best way to sell music, and I will always support that, especially with RRC, opposite to what we used to do at Top Dog. I'm also helping a bunch of artists push their own labels. You know what I mean? Like, I've been working with Maxo with his Smile For Me imprint. I've been working with Cousin Fail with his alumni imprint, and you know, I'm happy to push that for people. Like, it doesn't necessarily just has to be my name on it. So I'm always happy to try and put the artist first. And but man, there's a million ways to try and push a product. Live shows, man, those are the key. The truth is, and I've seen it with live shows. Live shows is the way, man. Like, the more you play out there, the more shows you do, the more touring you do, the more copies you're gonna sell. You're gonna sell them at shows. You're gonna sell them online. People are gonna know you. Yeah. So that's definitely a key factor. And then, I mean, on the more practical side, we sell. Of course, we got our own web store. We also got a big distribution network. We sell to shops. We sell to online retailers, to big distributors, whatever. You know, which just sure. There's a million ways to push a record. I think the key to everything is, do you really want to do it, and how hard are you willing to push for that to happen?
Absolutely. I'm just asking in particular, like for some independent artists who may not have like a budget or anything, just trying to like, you know, work with what they have. What would you say would be like the best bet to, like, if they only could spend $1,000 to push their record? What would you do if you only had $1,000 to push it?
Man, if I only had $1,000, I'll try to come up with some more money to push that. To be 100% honest, man. For sure. Like, man, I've been, since my first company, 2016, I've been constantly putting money into my companies. Always have, always will, always ready to do it. At the end of the day, the truth is, the more you invest in yourself, that is the only return you're really gonna have. And that's what, like, you know, sometimes I talk to artists and they don't want to spend no publicist money. They don't want to spend no good artwork money. They don't want to spend no good mastering money. And the products are subpar. Not subpar, but like, at the end of the day, man, to make something dope, you need to invest a little bit, man. Like, yes, I understand not everybody might have the possibility to do so, but you don't need $50,000 to make a good record. You know, you can do a good record with 5 to 10. You know, so at the end of the day, I understand you can maximize your budget, but you also can't keep it down, because at the end of the day, you're never gonna get a proper product. Oh yeah. You can go on ChatGPT and get like AI artwork. Like I see a lot of people be doing that. It's like, why are you doing that?
It's
like,
something very popular. I mean, like everything.
You can spend $500 on a good artwork and still have like a super nice product, you know what I mean? Like, you don't necessarily have to spend $5,000, you know? So at the end of the day, I do appreciate and support any budget, but at the end of the day, you do need some budget to push it. And if you're not ready to push, like, to put that money up yourself, nobody else will, man. That's the truth. Absolutely. That's the truth. Like, I never thought for a second to go and ask for somebody for money to do what I do. I never did. I never will. You know what I mean? So, like, no.
If you don't believe in yourself, like, nobody else is gonna believe.
That's what it is, man. Like, so why would I take your half-assed product and push it with my money? I mean, if you don't even care first to put that effort in it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's what separates, you know what I mean, the artists from like the people that actually care about making timeless music, timeless records, timeless packaging, you know, things that they can push for. Let's just say I make a record today and I could still sell that same record for 10 years, 20 years. You know what I mean? Like,
that's
it's an investment in yourself.
Exactly. But like, that's what I'm saying. So I don't want to sound like a dick, but like you're not gonna go anywhere with $1,000. You need more budget than that. You need more. You need. Again, I don't think you need $15,000, $20,000 because you don't have to go that far. But you also need to understand that if you don't curate your project under every point of view in the best of ways, then you can't expect people to buy that or to be interested because people see that. People recognize when something's cheap. Not all the time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But people see when the artist is not fully invested.
Yep. Nah, absolutely. You definitely can tell. What do you think most independent artists misunderstand about the business side of music?
Well, I think a lot of people are not good at math, man. That's the truth, man. Okay. Like, a lot of the time I've been hearing a lot of this conversation about the streaming platforms and how they're stealing people's money and all that. And, I always stand by the theory that is correct. That is true that they could be way less greedy than they are. But I feel like a lot of people be like, yeah, why am I not getting thousands of dollars with my thousands streams songs? Like, it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? Like, you can't come up to me and say, oh, my album's got 50,000 streams. We're going to make 500 copies on vinyl. We're going to sell out. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You need to build your fan base organically from scratch. And it's a day-to-day operation. It might take 10 years, man. Like, not everybody blows up from one day to the other. That's like, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody can have overnight success. And not everybody has got the same gift. So I think, in a way, people need to understand that things take time. Good things take time. But once you get there, then it can really, like you say, you can have a classic that's going to last for the next 10 generations. You know what I mean? But like, to get there, you need to dedicate your craft. You need the 10,000 hours. You need to invest in yourself. And that's the only way to do it.
Amen. What's a success story with an artist that you've worked with or kind of coached behind the scenes that have had major success?
I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is the whole Griselda thing. I mean, the first release we ever did at TopCon was actually with Conway. Okay. So my former partner there, he had a couple of songs with Conway himself, and that was the first release. We did that 7-inch, and the guy was hustling like crazy at the time. He was working with a lot of producers. He was doing a lot of collaborations left and right, and and I think right after that we were supposed to do a couple more things with him. And that's when they signed to Shady, the whole Griselda signed with them, right? But again, that's to the era that we're living right now is possibly the biggest and most plain example, right? Like what the guy's done, and Talking God there, of course, is building something, but that is dedication. That is brick by brick, day by day, pushing something dope, something solid, and investing in himself, right? And that's, of course, that's the first thing that can come to my mind. But that literally is the first one. But man, like, see, for example, somebody like Alchemist getting his recognition right now the way he's never had before.
It's amazing.
But that is somebody that literally doesn't sleep. That is somebody that literally doesn't sleep and doesn't stop investing in himself.
Oh yeah.
And to me, working with him on a bunch of projects has been a huge lesson. Like I learned a lot doing that. But yeah, it's all about dedication, man. There's nothing. There's no way to cut it. There's no shortcuts with that kind of stuff, man.
Amen.
There's nothing to do. Yeah.
I feel it. How do you see AI changing the music industry from here on out?
It's funny. Just recently, I was having a conversation with some friends about this because I don't know if you're aware of this, but basically, a lot of pressing plants have been kind of stopping records at the pressing plant when they get the records sent over the masters, because they got the softwares with the spotting samples. So they've been busting a lot of samples that we don't even know about sometimes. I got under the master in and listen to it, but like these guys have got like these crazy apps where they can connect what samples been used. Wow. Even when it's been flipped, man, when it's been pitched, they know they can do whatever, right? So a lot of releases have been stopped because of that. And so the question that we were asking ourselves was, how is this eventually going to change music, right? Like, of course, especially hip hop. I mean, hip hop was built on sampling, right? What's it going to be next? I mean, how is things going to go? Honestly, I don't know that answer. I hope that, it only helps people getting more creative, and that's what I hope. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, but what about maybe a lot of people are going to start making AI music and all that shit? I'm like, I don't know, man. I believe that people that really, really love music will always dig deeper and create with their own hands. When you love art, that's what you do.
Yep.
When you want to find just a shortcut to success, you're going to go and find an AI plugin or whatever that can help you do that. And I mean, I know there's like some producers that have been kind of trying to incorporate AI in what they do. And I'm talking bigger names, of course, too. I'm not against that. I mean, ChatGPT does some useful shit sometimes when you need some practical stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I get that, I use it for work sometimes when you get to the spreadsheet stuff and boring things.
Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day, I do believe that the real art will never be duplicated as such. I'm sure there's possibilities, but I think that if you really care about your craft, you will take care of it yourself. You know what I mean?
For sure. Where do you see RRC in the next 5 years? What's next?
Oh man, right now we're in the process of setting up the studio here at the office we got here in Amsterdam. So I'm hoping to bring more people to come and work over here directly on some projects. And then as far as the label goes, man, I just want to keep doing what I do and doing what I love mainly, and hopefully come up with some new names, new people. I need some new blood, that's for sure. I feel like there's definitely a few interesting cats out there right now that have come up and that I got under the radar.
Who are some of those artists?
Oh man, I really love, like I said, Oxomni's dope, man. Harold Holden is dope. Lorsko's been doing really good things.
Oh yeah.
I did a couple releases with him, and I'm really happy with what he's been doing. There's a lot of great names out there, man. So I'm open to more and more. I think we lived in a lot of eras over the last decade and a half. There's been a lot of changes, and I'm really looking forward to see what's next. Like you said, in the next 5 years, for us as a label, man, I just want to keep evolving and just keep doing what I do, which is supporting the artists, bring their art out there.
For sure. What do you feel like is the biggest lie that gets sold to independent artists when making it in the industry?
Well, I do believe, I don't know if you read the book, The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell.
Oh, I actually just finished that.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I mean, The Outliers, I did mention earlier the 10,000 hours and this and that, and that is very true. But at the same time, you do need a mix of things to work in your favor, and that is for sure. You know what I mean? Yep. I believe there's a lot of uncredited people out there. I believe there's a lot of people that never got their flowers or got it too late, or never got appreciated as they should have. At the same time, I believe that, of course, constant dedication and investment in yourself, like I said, that's the key. But at the end of the day, you should also always be ready to face the fact that it also might not work. That's also okay.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I think, but at the end of the day, if through whatever you've done to get there, and you did your 100%, you can still be proud of that, man.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I know with me.
So, like everybody wants to hear the big story of success, and nobody wants to hear the other way around, right? Everybody, the truth is, there's a bit of everything out there. So you got to be ready to accept both sides of the matter.
For sure. I know with me, you know what I mean, why I started taking music serious in the first place. Like, I was in a bad situation. I was homeless, and I was living in a storage unit. And I turned my storage unit into my studio and just kind of like persevered from there. And I was a rapper at first, but then during that period of my life, I taught myself how to make beats and how to engineer and things like that. So just one thing led to another, and I never accepted the no's. You know what I mean? I just kept pushing forward, and it wasn't anything to where like I guess like I was entitled to anything or anything like that, but it was just like, when I die, I don't want any regret. Like my grandfather, he always wanted to be a musician, and you know, he never took the step. And his friends, you know, they had major success, but you know, he's depressed. He's not happy with his life. You know what I mean? So one thing that was in my head, man, was like, I'm just not gonna be like that. I'm not gonna end up like that. You know, I'm gonna at least try it out.
For sure.
Then, you know what I mean? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But everything's been.
That's what it is. That's what it is. I
exactly.
think everybody should always give it a shot, man. 100%. But at the end of the day, the truth is not everybody makes it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And like I said, that's also okay.
Yep.
And that's also okay.
If you could change one thing about the music industry today, what would it be?
Man, I would say I'll change one thing on both sides. And when I say both sides, I mean on the industry side, but also on the fans side. I think on the industry side, I think people should understand that it's very important to pace your art and to give it space to breathe, and to not just see the industry as a conveyor belt of products to put out there to make a quick buck. And that is the first. That's what I think it should really be important for us behind the scenes to work on. And on the other side, I do believe that the supporters should understand that there is more concrete ways to support artists. And when I say that, I mean go to shows, buy merch, support your people directly, your friends, your favorite artists. And because, you know, everybody's upset about, Spotify is stealing money from artists and this and that. But everybody knows that there is a way more direct way to support their artists. But they prefer pay $14 a month for unlimited music than give 25 euros and $25 or $30 to their favorite artist. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of work to be done on both sides. I think it takes a lot of education on both sides. But I honestly think we're in a great place, and I think I only see things getting better, man. I think, you know, there is of course a lot of stuff that can be adjusted and improved, but I think we're living in a great place. I think we're getting a great time for artists to develop their craft. And if they're smart and they know how to handle the system, they can really make a living out of being independent. So I think we're really in a great time for that.
For sure. What do you feel like is one of those ways that artists could kind of take things to the next level, especially with going direct to fans? I know you mentioned that, you know, there's different ways to support.
I think, you know, you got to get creative for sure, man. You got to get creative. You got to find new dope pieces of merch, good ideas. Pop-ups is a great thing, you know. But I think, of course, it takes a lot of creativity to make things work the right way. Because, you know, like, we're living in a very fast world and things get very boring very quick, you know. I think, you know, there was a huge vinyl frenzy over, you know, between 2015, early 2021, 2022. It was like the market blew up. And, of course, the economic situation is a little worse right now. So things slow down. But things get really boring really quick in a lot of ways, right? So I think you got to get creative, that's for sure.
For sure. What would you say is your top 5 bodies of work of all time? Top 5 albums?
Top 5 albums, man. That's a very complicated question. We're talking hip hop, we're talking music in general.
Anything to you that inspired your story, that, you know, kind of shaped RRC?
Yeah, man. I mean, I gotta say, for me, I would say the infamous, that was the first hip hop album I ever heard and never listened to, and that was what blew me away. That is one.
Wait, hold on. Before we go to the next one, I want to hear about that. How did that album land in your hands? What was the story behind that?
Well, it actually was at a party, man. I think it was maybe like 14. I think I was living in Belgium at the time with my family, and I remember just at this party, and Shook Ones came up at this party, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" You know, the album had already been out 10 years, but of course I was 14 at the time, right?
Yeah.
But that's how I think I found out about that record, man.
Okay. I just wanted the backstory, man.
Yeah, that was very simple, man. Just at a party, somebody was playing that song, and I was like, "Shit."
Sure.
You know, everything stopped for me right there.
For sure.
And that's one, man. But then I would say the Bad Brains, man. The Bad Brains to me are an incredible band, man. I grew up with that. I got Bad Brains tattooed on me. It's like, to me, that was just one of the most iconic bands ever, man.
For sure.
That's one there, man. I don't even know. Like, it's a hard question, man. It's a tough question, but I would say no. But man, like, you know, that's for sure.
Give me
man.
three. Give me three.
I'll give you "Moment of Truth," man. "Moment of Truth" is an incredible record for me. That's also like in my top 5 of all albums for sure.
Okay.
Top 5 hip hop for sure.
Okay.
Man, then Sepultura, man. I'm a huge metal fan as well.
Okay.
Chaos AD, that record definitely shaped me.
For sure.
At an even earlier age than when I found out about Mobb Deep, man.
Definitely.
And man, you know what? Just because I was talking about that today with them, man. And that's a more recent record. I'm gonna just say that. I'll just put it out there because I love those guys, man. Sonny Jim and Jello Point.
Okay.
Those are my guys from England, man. And I put them on my top 5 for today, man.
Damn, that's crazy.
Income, man.
Nah, for sure, man. Absolutely.
They're killer dudes, man. And they're very good friends. I love those guys. So they're in my top 5 today, for sure.
Absolutely, man. That's amazing. Well, we got less than a minute left, man. What's coming next for RRC? And what should we be on the lookout for?
Well, man, the very next project up that I produce is going to be out April 4th, and that's a Boldy James album produced by V-Don.
Okay.
Executive produced by myself, and I'm really, really looking forward to that. I got quite some work coming out this year with the Real Batman with my guy Adam.
Okay.
We just put out that it's a Loopers album with him, and but there's also more shit in the way with them, man.
For sure, man.
But it's an interesting year for sure, man. So a lot of stuff with Pig Sifu as well, so that'll be exciting.
Dope. Man, I look forward to this year, man. Much success for you. Really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us, man.
Likewise, man. Thank you very much for this.
No doubt, man. I appreciate your time, man. God bless you.
All right, take it easy, bro.
All right, brother.
Peace.